They both come back, and each one of them has 10 leads. I promised them that I will give you $20 per lead. For every lead you bring me, I'll give you 20 bucks. Now within a week, couple weeks, they both come back, 10 leads. So I give this one $200, I give this one $200. That $200 can help them. You know, that can put cornflakes on the table in the morning, that can maybe give little Johnny some new tennis shoes, as long as they're not Air Jordans. That can help put $5 a gallon gas in your car. But you see what I'm saying, though? It can help a family. $200 a week can help that family quite a bit. So you got two families. I gave you 20 leads, 10 leads apiece. You got 20 leads times $20. That's your $400 advertising budget that you were going to use to advertise. That was going to have you handcuffed to a phone that would never ring. But now look at what you have. You've got the rehab analysis form filled out completely. You know what work needs to be done. You have a picture of the property. You have a picture of the neighborhood going back and forth. They've already talked to the neighbors, may have a line on where that owner is. Now it's time for you to go to work. And that's why I wrote the course. To pull it all together, to give my students all over the country a roadmap so that they can go to work and they too can change their financial pictures. I want to share with you one of my students. This is an early student. She was 17 years old when she came to me, and she told me she wanted to get involved in real estate. And so with her, she wanted to make enough money to buy a Mercedes so she could impress her friends. Did she do it? The answer is yes. Whatever your reason is, upgrade yourself. I don't care why. So she wanted to invest, but she did not want to invest like everybody else, chasing the same deals and all of that. And so we set her up with a very, very nice little system, and I'll share that with you as well. She was only 17 years old. I taught her about vacant distressed properties. She used a vacant property list. This is where the changes are. This is the difference in success. If you're going out there with normal resources, those resources are terrible. What we have and what we spend an awful lot of money on is a proprietary list. A list of vacant distressed properties. Now, not every property on that list is vacant. Some of them, other investors might have beat them to you. But we supply our students with a list of around 100 to begin with. All you need is one, isn't it? All you need is one to work on. So she got that list and she took off with it. She found a great contract, a great property. She put it under contract, and now she wholesaled the contract. How many wholesalers in the room? Wholesalers, great. How many retailers in the room? How many in the room? How many won't raise your hand no matter what I say? Thank you. So she wholesales the contract for $10,000. Now she's 17 years old, and she just made herself $10,000. But what she got more important than that, she was able to watch over our shoulders while we worked that deal. Now she's a multimillionaire. Now. She's no longer 17, but she has a family now, and she's a millionaire, multimillionaire. And the reason was because she got that $10,000, which whet her appetite. Now she sees what it could be. Then she watched us put deals together, and she sees, I see what could be, and I also now see that I can do it. And that's all it took. Now you just get out of her way. And she just does a very, very good job. Excellent job. Here's a copy of the, well, this isn't the list that she used. She used a different list that wasn't nearly as good as this list. This is the list that I pay big money for, and we get this, we get properties on this list from all over the country. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on, but I want you to see this. Over here on this side, my green isn't as good as your green.
You can use the other one if you want.
That's okay. Over here on the left column, there's the owner's name. Next to it is a property address. This is the subject property address over here. City, state, zip. There's a type there, and all of these seem to be R for residential. You'll see A for apartment, C for commercial. Now over here is the owner's address. We got the owner's name over there. Here's where the owner lives. Now his subject property is over on Chase Drive. Look at this. The owner lives on Del Monte Drive. Anybody know those streets? You ever heard those streets? Well, you see, this particular list, I asked my assistant, give me a list of Santa Barbara County. Not Santa Barbara City, give me the county. And so we have now properties from all over Santa Barbara County, Goleta, Summerlin, places like that. Also, you'll see that there are phone numbers on this side. The phone numbers, they're wonderful. Some don't work. All you need is one. All you need is one. And you need that script to know what to say to that owner, and that's what I supply you with. All right, so that's really exciting. This is a property that came from that 17-year-old girl using the old list. She found this nice little 4-unit building, 8633 South Orchard Avenue. Unique about this building was when we went over with my ex-wife at the time and my daughter, and we went up to the first unit. It's 4 units, right? Walked up to the first unit and opened the door of the first unit, and the smell that came out of that door, you will never ever forget it. You will never forget that type of smell. I mean, that smell just came, bam, bam, bam. If you could see smell, it would be like a fog coming at you. Like it'd knock all the wrinkles out of your suit. If you have wrinkles in your suit, forget it. So I remember my mother, she has always been a stickler for me being the perfect gentleman at all times. And she would have been so proud of me because she's up in heaven looking down. And I was very proudly, I opened the door and I let my wife and my daughter go in first. And I still proudly knowing that I pleased my mother. You see, what had happened, there was fire damage in the ceiling in the kitchen. It started in the kitchen. And it worked itself into the living room, right? So guess what? When they come to put the fire out, they're spraying the kitchen ceiling and the living room ceiling, and then they put the fire out and they pack up their hose and they leave. And that carpet stayed in there with, you know what I'm talking about, with the water and the funk from the ceiling and all that stayed in the carpet for years. Nobody went in there for years. That's my kind of smell. Oh, I love that kind of smell. That's the money smell. You know, when you smell something like that, don't back off. If you're going to back off, call Reggie. Call me, please. That's the money smell. I knew I was going to, I don't need a gas mask. I'll send my crew in there. But yeah, I knew I was going to make a lot of money when I smelled that building. Well, the 1 unit, actually. The other 3 units weren't bad at all, just carpet, paint, minor repairs. That's all. Let's look at the numbers. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. There were 2 of them, $1,550 apiece. There was 1 2 plus 1 at $1,025, and there was a 1 plus 1 at $700. So the total income here was $4,825. This was another owner finance deal. You see, when you have a property that needs work, conventional lenders will never lend on that property. You might be able to go get a hard money lender to lend on it, but boy, they're going to take all your profits. They're going to charge you a lot of points. They're going to charge you a high interest. You see, so there are other ways. Like, for instance, you get a good deal like that, and if you happen to become my student today, you give Reggie Brooks a call. Because Reggie has money, and he also has a network of other partners that have money, and we're looking to put our money out there. We're looking to partner with our students. I live right down the street in Los Angeles. It's a long street. But I don't mind getting into a Tesla and driving out and seeing what you have over there in Goleta, or what you have over there in Carpinteria. These are some spots that you're going to find a lot of good opportunity. So I did a seminar in Orange County, and there was a couple of gentlemen that were sitting maybe right there where you guys are, and they were just grumbling all the time. And one of them said, "Oh, vacant properties, you don't find any vacant properties in Irvine." And I said, "Well, can you get in your car and can you drive 10 minutes outside of Irvine? Maybe 15 minutes for you outside of Irvine, and find the neighborhoods where those properties do exist? Because perhaps they don't exist in your Beverly Hills, Irvine, where you live." I suppose it could. Heard back from that guy. You know, he went out and found a deal. He actually did. That did me such good. So that's why sometimes we'll ask for a list for the county, not the specific city, but you can ask for specific cities too. My assistant will honor that. More about that later. All right, so here, $4,825. The income, I don't know, about $3,800, because I know the note was somewhere around $1,000, about $1,000 a month. So there's an income of about $3,800 a month. Wow. And this was a property that nobody wanted. Double wow. There's a lot of these out there as well. So, you know, a lot of times, though, what we encounter is that investors, they leave a lot of money on the table because they don't really know how to extract the money. They're seasoned investors, but many of them don't know anything about writing a proper contract. And when you learn to write a proper contract, you learn how to ask for money that you would not have asked for before. You learn how to fine-tune and tweak so that your profits go up higher. Here's an example. Jeff, for instance. Jeff is one of our students. Oh, before I get to Jeff, here's an example of a great clause in your course. There's a contract in there that has 19 money-making clauses. This is one of the clauses right here. Remember that 4-unit building that the young lady found? One of the units was fire damage. Please write this clause down, because you can use this clause to make money. Anytime you're going to buy a piece of property that is fire damaged, this offer is subject to the seller assigning to the buyer the insurance settlement. That's it. Yeah, I hear all kinds of sounds in my meetings sometimes when I play that, because people don't think about this kind of thing. This offer is subject to the seller assigning to the buyer the insurance settlement. How did I know that there was an insurance settlement? I didn't know. I didn't know. But why not put the clause in there just in case? And that's what I did. So we put that offer in. You guys wrote it down. We put that offer in, and here are the numbers. Here's what happened. The agreed upon price for this 4-unit building, $172,000. Is that cheap for a 4-unit building? Yeah. It's super cheap. It was in South Central LA, but it's still super cheap. You know, there are properties over there, duplexes, that sell over $750,000. So we got this super cheap. Why? Glad you asked. Because it was vacant, distressed, the owner was seriously motivated. You cannot make this kind of money if the property doesn't have some distress to it and the owner isn't motivated. That's why we seek them out. All right, 172. Now we got some free money. Insurance assignment of $447,235.04. Why did we get that money for free? Because we asked for it. And we ask for things in real estate through clauses in our contracts. That's why we ask for things. Your contract in your course, one of the most powerful contracts that Dr. Lowry and I sat down and we went through that contract. And you see, most contract car forms, California Association of Realtor forms, they're made to protect the brokerage, to protect the realtor, not for you, the buyer. So Al and I have a contract that is so powerful. It has 19 of these money-making clauses, and they're all embedded in the contract. And they're written for a buyer, for an investor, not for an end user, not for a realtor. They're written for an investor. So that clause in that contract got us $47,235 back. That brought the effective purchase price down to $125,000 for a 4-unit building. We fixed up this whole building, inside and out, and we spent less than $24,000 doing it. Many of you guys are throwing away money. A contractor comes around and he says, it'll cost you $50,000. He says, oh, here, take some more just in case. You don't do that, guys. And I want you to hang on, because toward the end, I'm going to show you some ways that we fix up properties, top-notch fix-up job, yet it costs us a fraction of what you guys are spending, just a fraction. Please do me a favor. I'm on a tight time schedule. If you don't mind, just write your question down, and I promise I'll be the last one leaving. Okay, if you have questions, I'll stay and answer every one of your questions. But I want to give you everything I have, and in doing so, I might even answer that question in the process. All right, so fix-up costs. I'm going to show you how we fix up these buildings and how we keep the money in our pockets, not give it away to contractors all the time. Total cost, $149,000. We sold it for $293,000, and we made a profit of over $140,000 on this one deal. Anybody like that? Yeah. And you see yourself doing that? Well, was this pretty simple? You know, just a clause in the contract. Yeah, it's not difficult. Did it make money? Well, I think so. 140,000 is pretty good money. So I'd say yeah. Here's the main question: can you do it? What's that answer?
Yes.
Of course you can. Of course you can. And I'm here to help you to do it. And then when I leave, I'm just going down the streets of Los Angeles. And anyway, that's to say that I support my students. 100% support my students. Yes, you can do this. And I hope to partner with you, because when we do that, you'll be able to ride on my expertise. You'll be able to use my money if you don't have any. And I'll be able to make money with you. And I'll also have a testimonial. Because you see, people all over the country, they need to hear about your success. That empowers them to become successful as well. How many of you don't mind getting rich while you help other people that need your help? You don't mind that? Well, we'll get into that too, and we can do that through government programs. That's part of the program as well. You're looking at Jeff Anderson here, one of my students. Now, Jeff used the contract that I'm telling you about with the 19 money-making clauses. And the clause that I want to tell you about now that he used was a substitution of collateral. That clause is embedded in the contract. So you don't have to try to remember how to write it out. It's already there. So Jeff finds this property over on Sycamore. And as you can see, the windows are boarded up, and it looks like it's abandoned. The grass is overgrown. So he puts it under contract. He found that owner, said the right things to the owner, put it under contract. He got the owner to sign a contract with no money down, 100% owner financing. Okay. Looking at that property, is Chase Manhattan going to lend on that property? How about Wells Fargo? Will they lend on it? No. How about Reggie Brooks? Will he lend on it? Yeah, he will. All right, so now he has that property under contract, and that contract has a substitution of collateral clause in it. I'm going to show you how we use that clause to make more money. More money. Now, he has that property under contract. He's still looking. He finds one, that one. Puts it under contract also, exactly the same way that he did the other. Owner financing. And the owner says, nope, don't want to finance this. You got to go get some money. Have you guys ever heard someone, one of your peers, telling you about a deal, saying that it was a great deal, but just couldn't get the financing? You ever heard that before? I know you guys have. You know what that means to me? Is that he just doesn't know what he's doing. That's a guy who does not know what he's doing. If that property has equity in it, and you have a motivated seller, and you can't get the financing, did you forget my phone number? But seriously, if I should go up in a wisp of smoke walking out of here, heaven forbid, in your course I've written a very special report. It's a 9-page report, and it will teach you how to get 100% financing. Whether it's owner financing or otherwise, you're going to get 100% funding for your deals as long as the numbers are right. Also, your closing costs and escrow fees, everything is paid for. All you have to do is to be that person who learns what to do out there and go find the property, put it under contract. Like I said, real estate does not chase money. Money chases real estate. Money chases good deals. All right, so he has this under contract now. No, not this one under contract. He can't get this one under contract because the guy doesn't want to carry the paper. So now what Jeff does is go back to that original property that he just bought with a contract that has a substitution of collateral clause in it. The substitution of collateral, here's how it works. That allows him, Jeff, take the lien off that first property that he bought. Even though it's no money down, owner financing, there's still a lien on it. He takes the lien off and puts it on something else, rendering this property completely free and clear. Now he can come back and refinance this property, pull all the money out that he needs. The average investor says, oh, I don't know how to do it. No! You lift the lien off of it and put it on something else. Now, does that something else have to be real estate? The answer is no, it does not have to be. It can be a fur coat, it can be a car, it can be a Rolex watch. It can be anything that the seller is secure in securing his position. Seller feels good in that thing securing his position. So he lifts the lien off, puts it on something else, refinances his property, now goes over there and buys that property. He already put it under contract. It's already under contract. But now he's not going to walk away saying it was a great deal, but we just couldn't get the financing. No, man. If you're an investor worth your salt, you know about creative financing. At least you're using a contract that takes care of the creative financing for you. Value was $237,500, paid $121,000 for it. Fixed up work was $37,000, made over $79,000. And this was a property that others would have walked away from because they couldn't get the funding. That will not be your excuse. See, we don't make excuses in this business. We make money. But unfortunately, you can't make both. You either make money or you make excuses. You cannot make both. And so I want you to know that there's limitless financial opportunity for you right under your feet. It's all around you at all times. And so what has to happen is a clearing here has to take place in order to see that which is present. That which is present is beautiful and is full of profits, full of profits. We learn how to make money from scratch, and that's part of what we're doing as we're going about wholesaling properties to put some immediate profits on the table. We can do that. It doesn't take us long to wholesale a property and make big money. I'll show you some things that some of our students are doing right now in wholesale. But then some of you are interested in fixing and flipping. And that's a good thing as well. I've done that for most of my career, fixing and flipping. I've held some to create that monthly income. But what if we set up a scenario where you can flip a couple, create the lump sum cash, and the third one you keep, and you rent it out. But now the couple that you flip, we're going to make sure that they're the right ones that yield you the biggest profit. The third one we keep, we make sure it's in the right area that yields us the biggest return. And if that's not the right one, we sell that and keep the fourth one. So we flip a couple, third you keep. Flip a couple, third you keep. We've got students that are working on that. And believe me, before you know it, you do that for a year. Look up after a year. Keep your head down, work it. Look up after a year and see where you are. You will not recognize yourself. You will not. And so what's required is you have to conform. You have to define the channels that you're going to operate in, and then you operate in those channels, and you get yourself some help. How many of you are being coached right now? Great. I am too. I coach, and I'm also being coached, and I will be coached to the rest of my days. And that's what you do. All right, so learn to make money from scratch. Now, I want you to know that there was this movie, what was it, Tom Hanks? No Crying in Baseball. You remember that? League of Their Own, I think it was. Well, in order to be an astute investor, we cannot give up. And there's a young man from South Africa, to me, that epitomizes just that. Never giving up. Many of you are that close to your first deal. Some of you are seasoned investors, and you're working on your third million. But I want to tell you not to give up. And this young man, see what he has to say.
You are believe but you can talk to someone in space.
Sam from Earth, calling space station. Can you hear me? This is Sam from Earth. Can you hear me?
If you want to talk to space, you need a really big antenna. Multi-elemented, embatable lumen.
Calling the space station. Can you hear me? This is Sam from Earth, calling the space station. Can you hear me?
Sam from Earth. 聞こえますか？聞こえますよ。
こんにちは。こちらは
ジャパニーズスペースステーションです。もしもし、連絡してくれてありがとう。聞こえますよ。
Yeah, you know, some people would be so frustrated. Oh, I can't stand it. Oh, I'm going to give it up. Go get a job. Don't quit. Don't quit. So much of the time, success is right there. Just make another little step. Go get that coach. Invest in that training that you need. And many times, that's all that it takes. Now, you heard me talk about contracts, and it's so very important that you learn how to write contracts for success, for your success. So in your course, we've included 2 contracts. One is a contract that what I want you to do is make a lot of copies of it and write them up, get them out there, because that's how you're going to buy property. But the other is for your education, and that's what we're looking at right now. It says standard real estate purchase contract and receipt for deposit at the top. Nothing really standard about it. Along the left column, you can see numbers that are associated with each paragraph. So let's say you're filling out the contract and you're down to paragraph number 5 and it says additional financing terms are as follows. You don't know what to put there. You don't worry about it because you just flip a few more pages to the explanation section, and the contract explanation section, look up the number of the paragraph you're working on. It tells you exactly what to do. It says, use this area to describe any other financing terms, such as seller to carry second mortgage or buyer to purchase property subject to the first mortgage. So what I want for you is to use the most powerful contract in the world to make more and more and more money, but I also want you to learn how these contracts work. I want you to learn the clauses. And so therefore, if you're using a contract that has all the clauses in it, you're going to get used to it. You're going to learn. You're going to find yourself sitting in a restaurant with somebody who wants to sell their property, and you hammer out something on a napkin. And as long as you know the elements of the contract that make it a legal contract, legal and binding, you can hammer it out on a napkin. But you see, it's the wordage, it's the clauses that make you money. And that's when I said that the money is made in the strength of the contract. We have to learn how to use a proper contract. And so that's why I teach you in your course to make sure that you are equipped. You know, I mentioned earlier about the fact that I have a real estate investment course. And at this point, I usually ask, I usually don't mention it, I'll ask how many of you think I'm going to sell your course at the end of the day. And some hands go up. And then I'll tell you that I'm not going to disappoint you. But we're going to sidestep all of that. You already know that. And what we've done is put together a course that will take you from where I began about 35 years ago, bring you up to speed in 2018, where we're using today's technology to do what I used to do manually way back then. And so the biggest thing here that I can share with you is that I've been investing for about 33 years, 34 years or so. And I have a lot of experience. I've invested with some of the best. Dr. L. Lowry is my friend and investment partner and coach, and we've done a lot together. So there's a difference in knowing what to do to make money and knowing how to do it. And that's important. That distinction is very important. So we can tout what we do to make money for an hour and a half, 2 hours in front of the room. But that doesn't teach you how we make the money. And so that we have to put it in the form of a home study course, 3-day boot camp, that kind of a thing, because it's impossible to teach you that in an hour and a half to 2 hours. So in that period of time, I can give you what we do to make money, and that's what I'm sharing with you now. The how to make money is in the course itself. And I think you'll agree with me, and please let me know by show of hands that there's a huge difference in knowing what to do and knowing how to do it. Isn't that right? Yeah. Big, big difference. And so that's what we're doing now. And I want to share with you a young man who came and he saw something and he wanted to know how to do it. This young man could have made every excuse in the world. And as you see right there, you cannot excuse your way to success. You're either going to make excuses or you're going to make money. It's your choice. Chad had that choice too. Chad chose to make money. Chad could have made excuses because Chad is blind. He is a blind man, but he chooses better for himself. And so, you know, when funny things happen, when you make a commitment, doors pop open for you. Pathways illuminate for you. The right person walks into your life at the right time. And you know it too because you feel it here. And that's what happened with Chad.